Hey people, Inquisitor 53 faction war. This is SDL Province and Tyranids versus Imperial Guard. The blue Tyranid team, CuCuMberBOY, there he is with a Ravener Alpha, a tunneling hero, great mobility, powerful offense and a bit of support, begins with a ranged Devourer weapon. Alongside, the Tenso is a Lictor Alpha, a melee specialist, infiltrate and disrupt, some powerful offense and a bit of support. And rounding off the team, YZ with a Hive Tyrant, a durable hero walking through objects that cannot be suppressed with powerful offense, disruption and support, begins in melee with a basic synapse. I shall call you Jose. Red Guard team, Incubator, chasing down some termagants here with a Inquisitor, offensive hero with powerful control abilities, begins in melee but can get specialized ranged weapons. Now getting shot up a bit alongside Erwin 08 with a Lord General fighting in ranged combat. Begins with the retinue of Stormtroopers, very strong defense and support, can also add to the retinue. Lictor Alpha must leave. And rounding off the teams, TheBlastFurnace is a Lord Commissar, strong offense and support, fighting in melee, begins with a refractor shield, can also shoot his own fellas in the head, but it's all for the Emperor and stuff. In amongst some termagants here, Jose the Hive Turret with a not so useful special attack there, Jose. Missing the Sentinel, now going after some Guardsmen. We do have Sentinels in play for all three Imperial Guard players. Double termagants for CuCuMber. The Tenso with double Hormagaunts into Spore Mines. There you see the Spore Mines doing some work for the Guardsmen. Doing some good work early on. And YZ also with double termagants. Straight into Raveners, I guess, for the Tenso, but maybe we'll see Warriors up first. Meanwhile, Ravener Alpha went down on the west side. Hammer of the Witches maybe finished them off. You wouldn't expect heroes to go down in first engagement against Imperial Guard. Don't have huge offensive threats in those first fights. I guess the heroes can be. That's Jose running off. And we have a Warrior Brood on the field for CuCuMberBOY. They're inside the tunnel. There we are. CuCuMberBOY losing some of their termagants, and it's Ravener Brood for the Tenso and Warrior Brood for YZ. Going to see Pathogens in response from at least one of these guard players, I would think. Would not get the VP. Here comes the Tenso to skulk around the east side, or the west side, sorry, and maybe get a revive here. Should be able to get one. Inquisitor just leaves. Warrior Brood, these guys are a detector unit, also count as a synapse creature, providing a basic synapse, much like Jose the Hive Tyrant is doing by default. Gives some defensive buffs. You see this green crap around the heads, that means they're in synapse range. 487 to 496. Can they make some progress up this east side? Fighting two Sentinels from two players here. Are they all the same scheme? I think they are. I'm going to get very confused here. Ravener Brood is up for the Tenso. High DPS range unit that can burrow strike with good mobility. Trying to get around this multi-laser turret. They've done so. Good charge from Jose the Hive Tyrant. YZ going for extended carapace here. Good special that time. Burrow strike from the Raveners at the same time as well. They are tying things up in melee. Pretty decent in melee, these guys. And you can upgrade them to be a full-on melee brood. But they're quite freaking scary and dangerous. Tyranid team having to take back their natural VP here. But they've got the west side. Trying to take down this turret. Their wreck point was decapped. There's Pathogens with their grenade launcher. Surprise. Good long range and short range disruption. They're decent in melee as well. And can even support with a smoke grenade. It can do a lot for you if your micro and positioning play can keep up. Heavy Weapon Squad on capping duty. Looks like the Red Guard team are going to take the west side back. Even getting a decap here with the Inquisitor. Ravener Alpha going for the hardened carapace here. Gives them to burrow indefinitely. Also gives, what is it, 100 health, some energy and energy regen. There's one of those permanent tunnels that all of his allies can use, 4 at a time. Lictor Alpha being sneaky, getting a decap on a wreck point maybe. Yes. Pathogens in the mid. Not interested in the wreck position point. They want to kill some bugs. East side kicking off again. Hormagaunts with adrenal glands there. Jose out in front. Those massive talons of his. And looks like a multi-laser turret getting some good shots in before it probably goes down here. Cormagant's up the eastern edge, as you can see. Adrenal glands on those fellas as well. More damage and more health, and allows them to leap in when they're making attacks. Grenade launcher doing some good work. Doesn't knock down Jose the Hive Tyrant, no. Does get stomped and stunned. Burrow Strike, this is Tenso's Raveners. Not sure where the Lictor Alpha is. They're back at base. Looks like they were kicked off this rec point decap maybe. But they got the decap. 463 to 484. A frantic opening on the east side, which you kind of always get when Tyranids are involved. Barb Strangler Warrior Brood down to a single model, but they get away. Turn gets dealt with. The Ravener Alpha goes down again. BlastFurnace down to just Guardsmen, losing their Sentinel. Oh, it was chased all the way back here, look. I thought it got away when he did that stomp to the Hormagaunts. I guess not. Tier 2 for BlastFurnace though. And it's double Ravener Brood for the Tenso. Very popular thing right now. Raveners are seen as pretty strong early on. And they scale quite well with the synapses. On the power is Incubator here. Stomp for the Lictor Alpha. Looks like they got one of the gens. And then they're going to back off. There's Crippling Volley. Uh-oh. Burrow striking Raveners. They might get the Inquisitor here if they go into melee. They went into melee, but they went into melee with the Sentinel, I think. Retreating units taking 30% more damage from melee attacks, which is why melee units can be really dangerous on retreat. Especially if they are something that would already get a damage bonus, like a power melee squad versus heavy infantry. You add retreat damage to that, and things can get chopped up really fast. Catachan's getting Burrow Striked. Oh, by the Ravener Alpha this time. 424 to 482. The Catachan should be able to spot him when he's burrowing around though, since it's akin to infiltration effects. That's Jose capping that central rec point. Barb Strangler Warrior Brood. This is CuCuMberBOY's. YZ also has one. No, they don't. They have melee warriors. On the power, first time I've seen them on this power. First time I've seen them on any power, but I think they did get the east side a little bit. Can they get a gen down? Those are trying to get the node down. Nodes are a lot tougher than generators. They're a little bit more expensive to build, but it's typically more efficient to get the gens down first. Make them replace those. They come down a bit more quickly. Bowen 08 with the Stormtroopers on the way. BlastFurnace already has Stormtroopers up. There you see them with an assault kit, longer range hotshot las guns, frag grenade, good stuff, and weapon cooldown to 0. West side, Ravener Alpha, are you going to go down again, buddy? Inquisitor was Hammer of Witches, didn't need it, just shot it to death with a crossbow bolt pistol. Ravener's having a tough time, almost level 2. The Inquisitor's level 4. Got a bunch of hero downs, I guess. VPs are even on 424 right now as the players start to think about their tier 2 strats. YZ has a Tyrant Guard, which was probably called in from the global bar. A Chimera on the way for Irwin. This is a Venom Brood call in, maybe, from Tenso. Nope, it's a Ravener call in from CuCuMberBOY. Good way to recover is to use a global unit if you have access to one. Burrow Strike from Tenso. In a bit of a trouble though. Catachan's right there. Going into melee. As you can see, they have power melee weapons, these fellas. Big old knives. Look at the size of them. Basically a sword, buddy. Chimera will allow Guardsmen to reinforce off it. Also jump inside to drive around. Have a great time. Sentinel with missile launcher in tier 2. For Incubator, the only Sentinel that still stands. This is the flare from BlastFurnace's Lord Commissar's global bar. Lord Commissar themselves are down, trying to attack that power. They got one gen over here. Jose trying to grab this wreck point. Gives it up. Now has the Psychic Scream for big AoE damage nerf on nearby enemies. It's 15 seconds, I think. 30% less damage, as you see there. Decent radius. Back towards the west side. Zone Throat on the field for the Tenso. Provides a health regen synapse to nearby Tyranids. And has some good AoE damage. It doesn't do friendly fire, so it's quite useful for Tyranids swarming in. There it is. Very vulnerable to any melee that can get in there. Does have the shield up, but still super vulnerable. Inquisitorial Mandate for the Inquisitor. Gives her invulnerability and a speed bonus. +3 speed. Gets very, very zippy. Ouch. Tyranid is getting torn apart by autocannon and Lasgon fire. Down goes the Sentinel though. They got it. And we do have a Venom Brood for CuCuMberBOY, providing a ranged synapse, which will benefit the Raveners and the Termagants. East side. Tyranids breaking out with a Tyrant Guard leading a line. And Jose charging through. Tyrant Guard is a big bucket of hit points with some nasty melee damage. Can get isolated and taken out though, because it's quite slow when it doesn't have synapse support. Can they finish off these guardsmen? No, the Commissar gets away. They'll reinforce 2 at a time, because the Sergeant died. Tier 3 for dowreplays. They're up against it here. Might lose the power. So Jose is going for a decap, and Warrior Brood trying to take that contested power. Tyrant Guard is pushing up. There's around 90 odd DPS. What is this? Picking off big time on Tyranids' southwestern power. Big push by the guard. They got plasma guns in there, and all those guardsmen, as you can see. Hell Fury was dropped in there. Plasma guns, bad news for the Warrior Brood and the Venom Brood, but they do have Barb Strangler in there to try and control. Got a full power bash. Chimera is bringing a lot of stability in the field at the moment. Get inside, drive away. Full power bash on northeastern Imperial Guard power, so they're having a lot of joy on the east side of Tyranids, but not so much on the west side. It's very mirrored that way at the moment. And of course they have the VP on the west side, trying to shoot down a capillary tower. Is the Inquisitor. She's level 5, done well. Now getting shot up though. Well, she shoots the Raveners, takes down a model, puts up her mandate. And now she's suppressed. Here comes an autocannon. Gonna get Burrow struck, but it's not gonna get knocked over. That shield goes up. And they're trying to get into melee. That bolt pistol though doing some work. 30 piercing DPS. Got that very constant fire rate. Can they get a Warrior Brood now? They can. Almost wipe the squad, in fact. Autocannon doing some really good work. Here comes the cavalry in the form of a bunch of plasma guardsmen. Oh, only one of them has plasma guns. Gormagaunt's in there though, and there's the Burrow strike. The Tenso strikes and can get on the power, I think. They got a Venom Brood right there. Still have ranged Raveners. So big buffs. Oh, they don't have ranged Synapse though. CuCuMberBOY does though, they're just using this. Can use an ally's specialized Synapse. Tier 3 for Incubator. TheBlastFurnace has some Cadian Kashyyykin up. Getting their Sergeant. Or faster caps. No sign of a weapon upgrade yet. Big retreat here. I guess they got on the power, look. Commissar is... that's the Lord General down. Where's the Commissar then? Oh, right, beside him. 324 to 377. 2 to 1 for the Tyranids. Trying to close the distance quickly on those Stormtroopers, where they can deliver some nasty burst damage, especially alongside Kashyyykin, which are getting plasma guns. Nice grenade. Then they run, which is smart. It's a massive leap in there for the Warrior Brood. West side. Lictor Alpha with Toxic Cysts. There's some nasty green stuff and some health regen. Spore Mines in there doing some work. Look at that. Doing a lot of work. Probably came out of that capillary tower. And now a Ravener Brood pulled in again by CuCuMberBOY. This is what they're using to recover. Tier 3 now for YZ. has a Zoanthrope of their own. Zoanthrope, of course, can support Carnifexes in tier 3 with their symbiosis to heal them. Uh-oh. Rocket run. It's a hell of a rocket run as well. Second run wasn't so great. Tried to crisscross. It's usually a better idea to go one way and then go the opposite way. That was from Incubator, I believe. Power was bashed here. That Chimera's still going for Irwin. Uh-oh. Inquisitor gets caught. That's the run. Morgaunt's come streaming in with the speed bonus from the Capillary Tower. But there's a big weight of fire against them. Have to run. Amazed they didn't drop a model there, actually. We still have a Commissar down here. The Lord General has been repurchased with a sniper rifle. Fire on my target. Get as much range as you can on the Tyranids before they close in, I suppose. Jose now fully kitted out with Crushing Claws, 108 heavy med DPS, and we saw Extended Carapace and Psychic Scream before. Kind of overkill for killing Guardsmen, but he might have an eye on charging down Lehman Russes later and Crushing Claw them. Guard are taking the west side. VP still very close, 324 to 311. Some Toxic Burst. In amongst the Guardsmen, has to flee. Here comes a whole bunch of Tyranids though. Good disruption from the Catachans. They're getting hit from two sides. So they've turned to the mid. Nope, turning back to the west. Guardsmen putting up a really good range fight there. Here comes Tenso though, and they have double Ravenous to really pour the DPS on. Look at that. Those guys got slaughtered. Current Guard in the back lines as well. Current Guard is very vulnerable to Plasma because of its armor type, but haven't been able to get the Plasma on it really. Tons of death. Tons of death. Awesome stuff. And they held it. Chimera means that they could reinforce off it really fast and hold the line. Barely. But they did it. That was some dug in, gritty Guardsman play there. Dying in droves and hanging on. Tier 3 for Irwin. Looks like the Tenso with the last player to go, if they go. 281 to 311. Can they start rolling those tanks out? We're going to need them if Carnifexes start stomping around. Inquisitorial Mandate. Inquisitor going for the revive on the Commissar, I think, but couldn't get it done. In fact, she might go down. And this guy's charge. They can't reach her. She'll be alright, I think. 267 to 311. It's still a red Imperial Guard west side. Comes Jose. Bad news for the Kashyyykin. I misses the special attack though. Seemed like that was close enough to hit. There's that Psychic Scream. 30% less damage for the Stormtroopers and the Kashyyykin there. See those red debuff circles. 254 to 311. Lord General levels to 4. Really helping in those long-range firefights with fire on my target. Not sure how long it lasts, fire on my target. Doesn't tell me there. 252 to 311. West side turning blue for the Tyranids. Uh-oh. Raven Alpha needs to run. Does have the Synapse Aura for damage, which is now coloured purple for us. An awesome change, thanks to Wise Windu for that, I believe. Did a lot of the visual effect changes in Elite Mod. Guard are taking it back. Carnifex is rolling. Is CuCuMberBOY getting the first one. The TheBlastFurnace going straight for a Baneblade, which is not what I expected from the Eastern player. Maybe they'll just drive it all the way over to the contested VP. Maybe they'll try and push the mid with it. We shall see. Maybe all that's in their mind is I'm going to shoot me some Tyranids. Another Carnifex now for YZ. The Tenso is indeed in tier 3. 243 to 311. Still on a knife edge. Guard are maintaining good pressure on the mid line of the map here. Their gun line is pretty strong at the moment, but Strangled Thorn Cannon Carnifexes or a Carnifex charging into that line can change that. We'll see what CuCuMberBOY goes for. They go Strangled Thorn Cannon. Big AoE damage with suppression. Good damage versus all targets as well as plasma cannon damage type. So you can mess up tanks with this thing, although it shoots very slowly. Let's see what YZ goes for. Charging through is the Hive Tyrant. Level 5 now. Cleaving through some poor stormtroopers, but they do get away. And there's your Baneblade. Shooting straight away at Jose, the Hive Tyrant. Picking off over here. Vergatus goes off from Incubator, the Inquisitor. Oh, and then she got knocked over by a Tyrant formation. Big mess. Big old mess. Seems like there was a spore mine in there at some point, detonating stuff. The capillary towers from the Tyrant formation provide big buffs to nearby Tyranids, so used in the midst of a fight that's going to continue, they can be a huge boon. Here's the Carnifex of YZ. They've gone for a Venom Cannon. Good anti-vehicle damage. Getting rear arm hits on the Beyblade maybe. I didn't see the rear arm hit. There we go. Tyrant Guard also chasing. So is the Zone Probe, which can do some anti-vehicle damage using the focused Warp Blast. Electroshock Grubs to mess with the Beyblade speed. Tyrant Guard doing some good DPS on it, but needs to turn. Yeah, there's a Legion Rust there and a bunch of Plasma Guardsmen. Bioplasma misses. Some support though from Tenso and CuCuMberBOY's here. Big push through the mid for the Tyranids. They have the west side, but maybe they shouldn't have left it because Incubator's right back here. And they're decapping. Then they should have stayed on that west side, CuCuMberBOY. Maybe they thought they were a bit light to defend it there. Look at that Stranglethorn cannon shot. Rocket run coming in. Seems like it was aiming for the Carnifex. Not the best rocket run there. Baneblade now being watered down, but it's keeping its distance. The Lehman Rusto is going to get caught, I think. There is the Psychic Scream and the charge. We have the Vanquisher Cannon Lehman Rusto. It's good versus large targets such as those big old Carnifexes. Taking a lot of damage here though. We now have a Paroxysm up. That means someone has a Neurothrope. Must be Tenso or YZ because I can't see it in the roster cards there. There it is. It is indeed the Tenso's Neurothrope. Good versus groups of infantry. Baneblade survives. The Lehman Russ survives. You've got a lot of repairing to do. They do have a bunch of guardsmen though to do it. West side. Vergatus and the Mandate. Inquisitor flees. She's level 7. Now with an Inferno pistol. Done really well this game so far. 193 to 262. Raven Alpha gets revived by the Lictor Alpha, who's level 5. Uh-oh. Autocannon getting 3 shots on the Carnifex here. Does hit the Stranglethorn, but not a great hit. Kind of on the edge of that squad. Lord Commissar still down over here, by the way. Poor bastard. Is this still the same Chimera? I think it is. From Irwin. Done well with it. Victor Alpha sees off the Inquisitor. Rocket run. Can they finish off these two squads? Again, they went for the crisscross pattern, which didn't hit the second run very well. 174 to 262. Victor Alpha now going for some Scything Talons, a power melee weapon. Oh, cancels it. Never mind. Never mind. You just get feeder tendrils up, I think, for a bit more preservation, a bit more sustainability in the field. Here comes Jose. He wants to crack a tank open, see what's inside. Might be something tasty, but then gets shot a lot and has to run. Did pop a Psychic Scream in there though. 174 to 262. More Carnifexes coming for CuCuMberBOY and YZ. Big stompy fellas. They have Baneblade in response. They have the Lehman Russ, but is that it? Did Irwin get a Lehman Russ? Oh, this is Irwin's Lehman Russ. So they have 2 Lehman Russes. Chimera staying the hell back. They both have Vanquisher cannons, I think. Yes, they do. 174 to 248. On the west side, they're starting to maintain that midline again. The Imperial Guard, they're so good at that. Make the midline ours. Toxic Burst is popped. More so for the health regen, I think, than anything else. 174 to 245. Maybe Menacing Visage would be useful just to make something run away. But it's quite expensive, I believe. Kicking off in the mid. They're going after the Baneblade as a tunnel formation. Neurothrope getting shots. This is a soon-to-be new Venom Cannon Carnifex. We have a Corrosive Devourer, Ravener Alpha 2. Down goes the Baneblade. They got it as another tunnel formation, I believe. Bergatus hits some stuff. They really need to choose their targets well, the guard. They have a bunch of plasma and they need to put it to use. Baneblade down. BlastFurnace does have plenty of resources though. Could get a Lehman Russ pretty quickly. Ouch! What a good shot there from YZ with that blast thing. What is it called? Bioplasma blast thing. Great shot with a Bioplasma. Lehman Russ goes down. 143 to 245. CuCuMberBOY down to double Carnifexes, so, and another Lehman Russ goes down. Wow, they're cleaning them up. Carnifexes rule, eh? Carnifexes are ruling so far. Down goes the Inquisitor 2. Sync kill, tosses her aside, does the Tyrant guard. And that was a good fight for the Tyranids. A good fight. CuCuMberBOY lost some stuff, I think, but they still have two Carnifexes stomping around. Oh, Hive Tyrant's gone Venom Cannon mode for extra Lehman Russ death. Charges through. Still has some decent melee capabilities though, as you'd expect. With a big old Venom Cannon. He's even got a special attack, I believe. West side. Ravener Alpha gonna come and cap. Carnifexes cannot cap points. 122 to 245. Lots of green crap. Probably a Cataclysm from the Neurothrope and also the Toxic Burst. Made a lot of green stuff. Pathogen Devils down to just a Sergeant who runs, or Sarge as they think they called him in the game. Tyranids grab the west side, yes they do. There's a 2-to-1, they have about 120 VPs to make up though. Another Baneblade for BlastFurnace, another Lehman Russ and more Kassakin. They're going to try to recover here. They've lost the midline. Tyranids on their own natural VP actually. Can they get a decap? I think they can. Jose's holding all this stuff up, gone back to Crushing Claws for now. And then flees. Maybe when they see the next Lehman Russ, they'll get their Venom Cannon back. Get it back attached. Cataclysm misses the bulk of the army, but still did some work. Massive firefight on this VP now. Lehman Russ did not last long at all. Bioplasma. Decent hit, but those guys were retreating. This is really tough. Lehman Russ is just going to die so fast, I think. I mean, you can get las cannons and anti-armor stormtroopers, but are they going to be able to stand up to this? It might be that the Tyranids have hit critical mass before the Imperial Guard did. As soon as the Guard lost their Lehman Russes and that Baneblade, it was going to be really tough to come back. Still have a VP lead. Imperial Guard might need to divide and conquer here. But that's going to be tough. Because Tyranids are quite mobile when you start throwing up the Capillary Towers from Infestation. Baneblade number 2 is up. It's just going to be a massive target for all these Venom Cannons, I think. We have 1, 2, 4 Venom Cannon Carnifexes. We have a Venom Brood. We have the Corrosive Devourer with anti-vehicle capabilities, and of course the Hive Tyrant. Not a good fight to be sending a tank into, even a Baneblade. See how it does. Got some Melter Lord General. I don't think they've lost the Carnifex yet. They've done really well so far. Level 3, these two fellas, or CuCuMberBOY, well, level 3 and level 2. There's the Baneblade, they're going for it. Bioplasmas, another Corona formation. Is that 2 of them? Yeah, that was 2 of them. Baneblade goes down already. There's a rocket run. Doesn't do a huge amount to Carnifexes though. Wow. Not often you see a Baneblade go down that fast. This is a scary Tyranid blob here. I don't think there's a huge amount they could do about this. Unless the TheBlastFurnace is wondering what the hell they do. Unless the Tyranids get really sloppy with VPs. This should be their game. You can't fight this head on with what they've got. They need like a massive amount of Leman Russes. And las cannons, all sorts of stuff. CuCuMberBOy getting messed up here. Melter guns in hand, of course, because of all the Carnifexes. Not sure what the Ravener Alpha is trying to do. Kill something in base, I guess. 122 to 60. VP's lead is now for the Tyranids. Another good Bioplasma. That's the thing. Even when you're facing down Venom Cannon Carnifexes, which are not great at dealing with infantry, they still have those Bioplasmas flying in, messing up your formations. Lictor Alpha goes for a decap. Did indeed get the Scything Talons by the end of the game. Power melee weapon that can knock stuff back and suppress it with Scythe. 122 to 43 on the VPs. Here's another Carnifex on the way for YZ. CuCuMberBOy is a third as well. Going for Thornback. This is cheeky. Stormtroopers getting a decap on their VP here. Very, very cheeky. Single here for Tyranids. It's cool to see the guard gun line at some points. But when the Carnifexes started rolling, I thought they started rolling a little bit late, but they were around the same time as the Leman Russes, and they won the fight in the end. Hell Fury and rocket runs, and a double cap is going to see it out for the Tyranids. It was close for a while until that big fight with the Baneblade and the Leman Russes go down. After that would have been very tough. They did get this cap though. Cheeky fellas, what are they up to? This is TheBlastFurnace's Stormtroopers here. Look at these heroes, level 4 Ravener Alpha. A standard build, I guess, for a Ravener Alpha in a 3v3. Regenerate in there as well. Lictor Alpha did some good work in and around the mid of the map. Got to level 7. That was a lot of revives, I think, on the Ravener Alpha. Jose the Hive Tyrant was very solid. Got level 7. Some good charges. Level 8 Inquisitor did really well on the west side, but ends up on a losing team. Erwin's Lord the General, level 6, had melter guns. And the TheBlastFurnace Lord Commissar, did have the Xenos Power Claw, level 2 at the end. There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Big thanks to these players for taking part in a faction war, the Tenso for hosting the lobbies, and I'll see you next time.